Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk Today.
What is on your mind, Cayman? If you are ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, welcome, and thank you so much for joining us. It's another fantastic Friday as we invite you to be a part of what promises to be another engaging, informative discussion. And Mr. Kenneth Ebanks is going to sit with us. We're going to be talking about a number of things. You obviously know who he is, but in case, he was not only the former director of planning, he's leading one of the teams looking at the new planning statement. He'll be here momentarily. So if you see him driving in, chauffeur, if you can, act as a valet. If you must, allow him to find a good parking space, right? I don't want to say because, he's elderly, because then he might take that wrong. But he's a sharp fellow. We want him to be accommodated and find a parking, and then they come into the studio. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
Avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Email Talk Today at candw.ky. Let your voice be heard.
And now, back to Sterling Dwayne Ebanks, Radio Cayman Talk Today.
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And certainly, as Mr. Ebanks joins us shortly, we'll have that discussion. But for now, he's not scheduled to come until momentarily. But our show starts when it starts, and Susan's like, "Where were you? Could have started earlier." Well, what's the song? Where were you? Well, here I am. Use me is our prayer and petition. 949-8037, 949-6990. You can WhatsApp call 925-3261. You can send a voice note. You can, send a message on that. You can actually call it, but you got to use the, that app to call us on. If you use it as a regular call, to the line, we can answer it to put you on air. Now, did you get a chance this morning to listen to Mr. Art and Dr. Steve? Well, if you haven't, please go back online and go to our YouTube channel and listen to what was shared as you were talking about the whole issue of the, Electoral Boundaries Commission report. I'm not going to take us down any path. I will only say that as we get into the summer, considering some of our children will be starting school for the first time, some will be changing, in the schools they go to from maybe primary upwards, maybe they're ending their high school and they're going to be looking at UCCI or some other continued education. Some are probably going to be going off to, tertiary studies. Some are probably on shore and they're going to may want to work for a while. Well, what are we doing to ensure that they are nurtured and supported and recognizing, at least if this is the wrong perspective, guide me. But as parents, my view is you're not, doing for your child always. You're doing with your child. You're giving them a sense of independence as you encourage them. You're reminding them that no matter how far away they may be or how long they have been absent, they're still your child. You still love and honor and protect and provide for them, want the best for them, and you're doing your best to set a good example. I think that's every parent's credo. We probably fail miserably and don't even realize it. But we may also not give ourselves sufficient credit that we're doing some good stuff. Just that, well, like we probably did to our parents and they did to theirs, our children are going, well, you know what you're talking about. Yet, I won't call his name because I know he'll be so embarrassed. But there's a fellow, strong, valiant gentleman who served the public interest. And I never forget, I saw one day we going for lunch and, the door opened, his son ran out and ran up to him and, gave him the biggest, hug. And I thought, wow, how do you get that? You probably 7, 8 feet tall, your son is taller, and yet here's a fellow who would, give up the time with his friends to come spend the time with his father. Thankfully we have that. We certainly see it with our children and their mothers. It's good to see, fathers with their sons, not just their daughters only, embracing and being loving and kind. And many of us, we don't have that sort of experience. We never really, show that level of, what you would say, sensitivity or compassion. Not that there wasn't any physical acknowledgement of a loving, caring father, just you had that stoic thing. No, I'm not saying that that's the good or even the best, but it was what it is, and you knew and felt the love. Maybe today we were seeing something different. Weak men who are really, they're more effeminate than some women. Now you may be offended by that. Tell me, because it's not to offend you. Strength isn't just the demonstration of physical stature or muscle. Strength is character and integrity, an example. And strength is having a resolve, a demonstrated resilience to do the right thing in the face of adversity. You stand firm. Your voice may be booming. It may be but a whisper, but it's spoken with credibility and integrity. It's respected because you are both respectful and respectable. But some of us, oh my goodness gracious me, what our pastor said, we're so heavenly bound that we know earthly good. And that's just how it is. Now, you might be offended, and that might be inappropriate to say, but where are you when the time comes to stand in the gap and your name is called, not just up yonder? No. Can you raise your hand and say present? Or are you so covered and hiding in the back there that somebody say boo, and you jump and you smell something coming from you? That's what's happening, man. You allow yourself to run and hide and cover. So talk to me. It's a Friday, man. 949-8037, 949-6990. Hey, you ever seen, the women in our society? And thankfully we have so many of them. If her family would allow me to try to show the love and respect that we had for her, as we still do, the Miss Georgettes of the world, who stood valiantly, who shared, from an amazing experience, from a great sense of love, who stood firm in the unshakable belief that right is right and right trumps might. Yet, where are we today, whether the men or the women? I had a very early conversation with someone before I went to, most engaging discussion with a fine gentleman. But the early discussion with this lady, she says she's trying to reach some young women, as she said, her young cohort, and trying to say to them that they are more than what, they see themselves. They have to present themselves in a way and not just settle. And some of the people that they hang up with is like just bringing them down. And why are you, as a young, beautiful individual, both in your physical appearance but in your spirit, just hanging up with this? No, she used a word that certainly wasn't in any which way expletive, but I don't think I can repeat it with the same level of intonation, so I'll just call it riffraff, right? She said, why are you with them? I mean, you can't be that desperate for companionship, male companionship. And then I thought, wow, where are we as men? I mean, are we trying to pull ourselves down? The scruff on our face isn't because we can afford a razor. It's probably because we think, that looks good. We're unkempt in our hair and our deportment, And yet, that seems to be the order of the day. And some would say, oh, that's influenced by the media, is it? Well, then that's a failure in our society to accept that. And I retelling a young man, Mr. Roy Borden, when he was president of UCCI, had a program where he tried to instill in the young man the importance of carrying themselves with integrity, of raising the bar, of recognizing how important. And I've since stepped back and go, well, if the young man is presenting himself in that way, the suitors of yesteryear that came, not just with a disarming smile, but with a sense of integrity, and if he wasn't presenting himself in that way, he couldn't get through the front gate, much less sit on the porch. Has that young man been replaced by the word that this woman used this morning that I'll just very kindly call riffraff? Now, if that is offensive, and I think it should be, we got to ask ourselves, is that who we are? Is that what we're accepting? Now, how does that fit into the discussion we're expecting to have with Mr. Ebanks when he comes in? Well, they talk about Plan Cayman. Well, is that plan only the plan of the physical built environment and the impact of physical construction on the environment, from the land coastlines to the mangroves to the infill sites, the thing that I heard through friends at DOE talked about, the seasonal wetlands? But what about the social fabric, the people who you bring to help construct buildings, not only their skill sets, but the integrity in doing the work, their ethics, that they cutting corners because they can make a buck. The people who are going to work in those places, the people who are going to live, remain, and be a part of your fabric. Are they people that are sitting down and don't care if there's elderly people or young children, they got cuss and smoke and blow it, and then you got to sit and accept it and beat up your gums and complain about it? Or are you going to have the resolve to say, hey, that's not who we are? But are you just like them, so you don't see no difference? Here's a word that I didn't realize many of us didn't know. Someone asked me, "But how you say it?" And I say, "Well, further. How you spell it?" I say, "I'm not quite sure." So I asked somebody, and they say, "Boy, we don't know. What does it mean?" Well, think of the worst person that you can think of in terms of their character, their lack of integrity, their lack of deportment and decency. And a further is worse than that. Right, Miss Susan? Boy, that's a harsh word, boy, for Friday. Gee, and Monday night, a holiday. All right, we're going to pause and take a break. Mr. Ebanks is here, and maybe after that he may say, boy, I don't know if I want to come into that studio. But this is what's going to be like today, so join us right after the break.
At Doctor's Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctor's Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
It's game time, Subway fans. We're upping our sub game with the Subway Series menu, an all-star lineup of 6 delicious recipes. Just order by name or number and we'll do the rest. Whether you're catching a quick lunch or just need a tasty victory, the Subway Series menu is coming in clutch. Subway Series, easy to order, hard to resist. Try it today, only at Subway. Eat fresh.
July is Laundry Month at Brand Source Home Gallery. Get ready to save big with 15% off on all washers and dryers, both domestic and commercial, and 30% off on selected laundry items.
Is your washer or dryer on its last spin? Now's the time to upgrade. From GE, LG, Samsung, Beko, Electrolux to Frigidaire, save up to 30% on laundry appliances during the month of July.
Visit Brand Source Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive in Industrial Park or call 623-5000.
Check out brandsourcekman.com for more deals. Voted Best Appliance Store of 2023.
Start your day in the know. Don't miss a beat. Radio Cayman's 7 a.m. news keeps you informed every Monday through Saturday at 7 a.m. Brought to you by Cayman National, proudly serving the Cayman Islands since 1974.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and thank you so much for joining us. And the gentleman said he would be here 12:30, and I can tell you he probably subscribes to the same thing my father said, because I'm sure his did the same. If you're on time, you're late. 12:30 came and the man was here long ago. So, Mr. Kenneth Ebanks, how are you, sir? Welcome.
Dwayne, thanks. Thanks for the invitation.
But thank you for accepting it, and I'm hoping if you would allow me, as much as I tend to be jovial, people do understand that there is a seriousness in my levity, and seeing you, I said earlier, I'm not going to call him elderly because, we will never see you, 1,000 years from now, you still be a very jovial, energetic, youthful person like many, like your father and like others. They've always had that energy, that sense of industriousness, that sense of giving. It was never that you were quote unquote old. People see that and they don't quite get it. Old is only when you're no longer. We don't age, man. We just we just mature. Hopefully.
No, I realized time was setting in when I actually stopped playing football.
That was last year, right? That was. But isn't that amazing, right? That level of activity, whether it's a sport or whether it's out fishing, or as we say, fishing, you keep doing, you keep going, right? And I'm hoping that we in our community would recognize that not just, former civil servants like yourselves, but people who have, and again, if this is the wrong way to say it, and I want to be for 1 second serious to say it properly. We've got people who are 25 and they got 25 years of life, and they might think they know a thing or two. Then now they're 50, now they're 75. They got a little bit more time under their belts. They may know or at least have experienced a little thing or two. And they could share with us, right? And so we can benefit from them. We need to tap into that. I'm not learning how to, tie a better knot. Not that my dad didn't show me from the time I was 3 years old, but I probably just didn't get it. But if we don't teach and if we're not willing to learn, we could be pretty stupid.
Talking about knots, I've been trying to teach my son how to tie a bolt.
Oh, you see, no.
Yeah. He still hasn't mastered that as yet. But
probably because he's spending so much time on, in the IT world with his fingers on the keyboards, right?
Yeah.
But we can help him, if you want. I know a guy.
Snackers.
You know what I'm talking about. but it's that knowledge, right? Here is someone like him, like Snackers, who, if you put him probably in front of an audience, and depending on the setting, he could instruct them. You sit him in a same large room, a pen, a paper, and a textbook, he might go, not quite sure. But give him a chance to demonstrate the knowledge that is supposed to be in a textbook. He would correct the authors because he knows, right? And we're not yet appreciative of the level of intellect, experience, expertise that many of us have, and the way we can convey that, or the way that is sort of, received by us. And we believe one size fits all. You can see where my mind's at today. Yes. Oh boy, good thing Monday not holiday. But this is why I commend you for your willingness to have or within the sort of the West Bay arena, and even though people are invited from everywhere to come and sit and have a discussion, could we ask you two things at the outset? What is it that you and the group are doing? I think I have an understanding because you were very clear in sharing the invitation to the wider public, but for those who don't know, that's the first question. What is it that you're setting about doing it?
Okay, well, after the first meeting in the West Bay John A. Cumber Primary School, it was quite obvious that during that 2-hour meeting, it's literally impossible to go through the document, and especially if the audience hasn't read it.
Right. Maybe I should back it up, sorry. Okay. That first meeting was about and by whom?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no. Okay. I'm always telling me, just because you know, don't mean everybody know, So I pretend I don't know.
Okay, the first meeting hosted by the CPA.
Okay.
In their district meetings.
Right. That's the Central Planning Authority. Okay. All right.
I think that was on June the 4th, I think it was.
Yeah. I think it was the first one, yeah.
Okay, during that meeting, it was obvious that it just isn't, that 2-hour period just isn't enough time to go through the document. So I said, probably one thing I can do as the former director of planning has a bit of experience in that. I could host some meetings and try to go through the document in more detail so that people get a better understanding, they're better informed as to what the document is saying or trying to say or not saying.
Okay. So, let's talk about that, right? Saying, trying to say or not saying, right? What is that document? I can write it down. Saying, trying to say and not saying, right? Okay. All right. What is that document? We refer to it as a planning statement, but you tell us what it is.
Okay. The planning statement, that is a document that outlines the policies. Pull the mic closer to me.
No, sir. Oh. She was saying, I almost want to joke and say, but he handsome. No, she didn't say that. I'll tell you public. He was saying this because we're going to, Miss Susan does a fantastic job in much. I give her sometimes a little bit more challenge that she needs, right? So on the YouTube,
so.
Well, it keeps life. Yes, yeah. I appreciate that. West Bears, Cameron-Backers, Georgetown, we're all good people. She is on the YouTube thing, put the name of the guest and the topic, and she gets the correct spelling and the like. And she wanted to make sure your last name was Ebanks, not because you're the first name Kenneth, right? So.
Yeah.
All right. So the planning statement,
right? That's a document that outlines the policies by which more or less guide the actual zoning map and the planning regulations.
Okay.
So, for example, they'll say, I'll just use the residential zone as an example, low density residential. It should be not too dense in terms of number of persons per acre versus the high density residential. Now, the details of that will come out then in the planning regulations, the lot size.
As opposed to the planning legislation, there'll be the regulations.
When you say the legislation,
you said regulations, so I just
okay. You got the Planning Act.
You
got the planning regulations.
Right.
You got a development plan. The planning statement forms part of the development plan.
And is the planning statement such that it's more than just a preamble to something? Is it so instrumental in not only the interpretation and construction, but actual impact and application of the planning legislation and planning regulations?
Yes, because based on the policies, the objectives that they want to achieve, that's stated in the planning statement.
Okay.
So if you don't object or support whatever you want in the planning statement, when it comes now to the regulations,
right,
then you may say, okay, well, I didn't know that this is what is going to happen.
Okay.
Then they say, okay, well, this is what the planning statement said that we intended to do.
Okay. And we want to go through it, and like you said, that series of meetings that the CPA had in the different districts, including the sister islands, you then decided to say, let's expound on that and figure this out, help people to get a better understanding and appreciation of what we're trying to achieve.
Correct.
Okay.
So I called in, I can't remember your show or OC's.
I think both.
Yeah. And put out a public request for a person to help me form this little committee, so that we could then organize these series of meetings. And Miss Marjorie, I think she's Ebanks.
There's probably another name, but Miss Marjorie Ebanks is,
so she came on board almost immediately and said she has some people who can assist. So her and her, I think it's the West Bay Beautification Committee, or some of the members of that committee, they all came on board.
And if you don't mind, I mean, I know immediately as you made that, she immediately reached out to a larger group. Hey, you're doing this thing. This is what it is. Who's interested in being a part of it? You can serve in this capacity. You can just attend the meetings. That level of community engagement and responsiveness is what we need. And this is what I was leading to earlier when I said, here is someone like you and your former sort of professional appointment, your academic training, we can still benefit. And it would be, again, I use the word deliberately, but tell me if it's wrong. It would be foolish of a society not, to seek nor accept those people like yourselves who are saying, hey, this is little I know, or this is a lot I know, I'm willing to do, and we need to do that.
But again, the airlines have been good to me, and I think this is the least I can do based on where I was, where I am.
I think I know the answer because you give it to, and if it's not appropriate to ask publicly, you tell me otherwise. I think it is. Your impetus, your motivation for offering yourself to do this thing at this time. Why?
Why? Well, I've always been advocating that the planned legislation need to be amended. I've been advocating that for quite some time. So I was happy when they said, okay, well, we're starting to do this. My only sort of objection to that is the timing.
Yeah.
As mentioned previously, is that if you don't start these amendments to the plan within your first year in the administration, you're highly unlikely to get it. You're highly unlikely to get it done during the last year of the administration. I wish the current government all success, and I'm trying to do my part to get as much feedback as possible to assist them in the process.
Okay. We're speaking to Mr. Kenneth Ebanks. For the longest time, I thought his name was Claytus. Then one day I say Mr. Claytus, he said, no, it's Mr. Kenneth, Mr. Ebanks, or just Claytus. But that level of familiarity does not negate or immense respect for you. And I thank you for the times you come on the show, the times you've called in, but for doing this together with the others. The planning statement, what is it saying, right? And you said, what is it trying to say and what is it not saying? We want to go through that. So what is it saying? Oh, we got to take a break, Miss Susan? Can we not do any more breaks, Mom? No, she said, boy, I'm just kidding. No, we really value and respect advertisers, and they understand. I say this without any fair contradiction, no matter which media they use. If your advertisement really came on, you have the widest reach, and that is bar none. So thank you for advertising. If you're interested, talk to our good folks in our sales department. After this break, we'll come back and we'll have a conversation.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet. Because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
Prescription refills made easy at Savannah Pharmacy. WhatsApp your prescription refills to 929-5045.
Cybercrime happens online or through the technology we use every day. Anyone can be a victim of cybercrime, whether you are a young person being bullied or harassed online, or an older person or business who's been scammed out of money or personal data. Cybercrime is an issue that touches all of us. The Cayman Islands government has therefore created an online resource to help keep you cyber safe in an ever-changing world.
In online situations, it is better to be cyber safe than sorry. Learn now to protect yourself against cybercrime. Visit gov.ky/cybersafe.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us, and thanks to Mr. Kenneth Ebanks. The phone lines are open if you wish to call. I find sometimes, as much as I, ask questions, it's best to just listen to get a perspective of what is it we're trying to achieve, and then speak from an informed perspective to comment or to respond to what is said. But there may be others out there who already have, a good view or have a burning question. Please share with us, right? Because this is how we learn, and through dialogue, we may actually come to a better and more comprehensible position. So, Mr. Ebanks, with that now, the plan came on. Is that what this initiative is, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I should ask you why is government undertaking this now. If you want to answer that eventually, I'll leave that to you. But I don't know. Assume I ask that. If you choose the answer, correct.
Okay. But before we go any further, I would just like to publicly commend Mr. Sims from DEH and whoever else was involved in the decision to move the bulk waste cleanup from December to May.
Yeah.
Because just the passing of Hurricane Beryl, I don't think they had that much, quote unquote, extra work. Now, had Beryl come closer or a direct hit, and we hadn't moved, we'd had all of that bulk waste, then could have been floating over the streets or whatever. So I commend all those who were involved in making that decision.
Thank you for that. And Mr. Sims did share when it was being proposed that one of the reasons for it, as part of the preparation for the hurricane season, we let them identify and remove these, items so that they're not all over the place. I do see, though, in driving about the country, people putting things out, man, and I'm not trying to offend anybody. I don't have a problem telling you where to get off, but in this instance, that's not the intent. And I can't fathom that. Why are we taking our sofas and refrigerators and not just derelict vehicles and putting them along the roadside on empty lots? And I'm talking about this week. You seen it?
Well, I can't say I've seen the scene once, but
well, I'll put X on next time. But
okay.
It's everywhere, man. Why you? Oh, that Mr. Rupert, blessed memory, man. If he was around, he probably would chastise us heavily. Why are we doing that, man?
Well, times have definitely changed. Now we got a lot of different nationalities, and some of them where they come from, that is commonplace. So what they do at home, they come and do elsewhere.
So what do we do about that?
What we do about that, which leads into the proposed amendments to the planning statement. So the planning statement is very, very inspirational.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not aspirational, but inspirational. Okay.
Inspirational and aspirational. It has a lot of nice terms, nice action verbs.
Okay.
But I think it's missing as well in some areas. For example, flooding.
Okay.
Flooding is given is a token mention, in my view.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Whereas some other aspects, hopefully we'll get into.
Yes, sir.
Are more pronounced, and I think it's sort of a bit back to front.
What people say, as fumas?
As fumas.
Yeah. Okay.
So this influx, uncontrolled immigration.
Okay.
I think is the biggest problem we have. The territory is facing. We always talk about sustainability. It's impossible to have a sustainable, good quality of life, enjoying or experiencing the level of immigration that we're experiencing. It's literally impossible. So in my view, until we address the population issue, all the other plans, the development plan, tourism plan, the housing plan, the health plan, until we address the population issue, who are we planning for, how many people are we planning for, then I think just some nice words on paper, but actually implementing them, it's going to be literally impossible.
So are we talking more than just about the carrying capacity for space? It sounds like it's not just that. You're looking at, if I'm hearing you correctly, the infrastructure that you have now, the willingness and ability to develop additional infrastructure. You got to put the cart before the horse, right? That's what you're supposed to do, right? Put the cart before the horse. Yeah, okay, yeah. What was it that the former Premier, Mr. Panton, someone joked and said? He said, they're not really eating fire. Really? Eat some, people make fun of everything, but we're putting the cart before the horse, huh?
Yes, and I think it was Stephen Covey who has a book called Learning from the Future.
Yeah.
So if we say that in the next 20 to 30 years, we want to have X number of persons.
People, let's say people. Best players.
Okay.
Yeah.
X number,
make that law.
X number of people living in the island. Now we know, okay, if you're going to have, on average, 20 to 30 people per acre of land, you're going to need X amount of land for residential purposes. But without that, how do you know whether, if you say, okay, we're going to set aside some residential land to make the island a much better place?
Yeah.
If whatever your planning horizon is,
right.
If at the end of the day, can you truthfully say, we have achieved what we set out to do, if you don't have any baseline data from which to compare it to?
Right. As we go into the break, we can, answer it now. We can revisit it. This vision, this sort of approach, should be driven by the elected parliamentarians, the senior policymakers in an appointed government, or the wider populace?
Well, I would say that the elected representatives, they're supposed to be representing the people. If the people get to them and say, okay, we want you to do A, B, C, and D, then they should. Now, are the people saying to their representatives, do A, B, C, and D?
Okay.
So, should it be driven by the people or should it be driven by politicians? I don't think it should be driven by the senior appointed members. No, because their job, like all civil servants, is to serve the government of the day.
It's in the implementation of formulated policy.
Yes.
Okay. All right. We'll come back. And there's a reason why I ask that, because to you and your group, the willingness to engage, to provide a forum, to facilitate discussions necessary, but it's for us now to come and present ourselves and maybe ask questions, maybe just sit there and get an understanding of what is it we're talking about. And is that happening? So when we come back, let's go through those things. We'll take the news, and then the next break after that will be 1:30. Maybe we can get something covered. Who knows? All right, stay tuned for Talk Today.
This is the People's Radio Station. Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins. On Saturday, July 13th, the Department of Agriculture's warehouse, plant nursery, and sales office will close at noon. In international news, Western leaders have rallied around Joe Biden at the NATO summit amid concerns about the U.S. president's age and ability to serve another term. Calls are growing for Mr. Biden to drop out of the presidential race this November, and his attempts to diminish fears about his re-election bid at the summit were marred by two serious gaffes. French President Emmanuel Macron said Mr. Biden was in charge and clear on the issues he knows well, while UK Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer said he was on good form. But Mr. Biden's first gaffe, in which he introduced Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelensky as President Putin, was ridiculed in the Russian media. And later, in a news conference, Mr. Biden's first unscripted public appearance since the debate, he referred to his Vice President Trump when meaning to say Kamala Harris. A team of imaging experts, scientists, and historians will set sail for the Titanic on Friday to gather the most detailed photographic record ever made of the wreck. They'll be using state-of-the-art technology to scan every nook.
So easy to eat well and find healthy options with their fresh veggies from local farmers, hormone-free chicken, local seafood, and grass-fed meats. Kirk Market has delicious, quality food at the best prices. And you must check out their fresh salad bar, hot bar, and med bar for daily healthy options on the go. Their delicious dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients such as prime meats and organic veggies. Eating great is important to me. That's why Kirk Market is my store. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and shop happy.
When you have a sports or fitness-related injury, trust the expertise of the HSA Sports and Exercise Medicine Clinic to get you back in the game. Our internationally trained and certified physicians specialize in sports traumatology, sports medicine, pain management, and orthopedic surgery. For treatment of common injuries such as tendonitis, arthritis, tennis elbow, rotator cuff, or knee tears, schedule a consultation with the Sports and Exercise Medicine Clinic at Smith Road Medical Center by calling 949-8600 or visit hsa.ky for more information.
In 1875, the Jamaican government passed the Wrecking and Salvage Law, directed to protecting the interests of ship owners and insurers and giving adequate redress to persons injured by the wreck. The law passed as a direct result of the wreck of 1874 of the British Iphigenia over the Bordentown Reef, in which residents pillaged the wreck despite no significant damage to the ship. Following an inquiry by the HMS Eclipse 8 days later, local magistrate William B. Webster was castigated and deemed unfit for office after the inquiry determined that he had failed to assist the protection of property and desired to wreck the ship.
The best foundation you can wear is glowing, healthy skin. The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter specialize in enhancing your skin's well-being. Whether you're seeking advanced skincare, including any skin cancers, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drporterkman@gmail.com or call 946-9020. That is 946-9020.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks very much for joining us. You can hear me okay in the headset, right, sir?
Yes, sir.
Susan, do I look handsome still? Oh, look at that smile. She said, yeah, boy. All right, in the studio, Mr. Kenneth Ebanks joins us. Thanks very much for coming in. We know you were, the former director of planning. After that, you were in one of the offices with other senior civil servants looking at some stuff. You kind of choose to talk about that, that's up to you. But the reason why I reference that, you're now in your personal capacity, bringing that academic experience, professional acumen, and expertise to assist the wider community in looking at the planning statement with a view that, hey, this is what it is, this is what it means, this is what we could potentially do if we understand it. As we go through that, is there a timeline? Do you guys have a timeline on which you have to sort of finish what you're doing, or is it open-ended?
No. The actual deadline for representations to the proposed amendments to the planning statement is the 31st of this month.
Today's the 12th, right?
Right.
Okay, so we got a couple of days left.
So our committee, we had 2 meetings so far. We proposed to have 2 more, the 15th and the 22nd.
Next week, and then on Monday following. Okay.
And then probably on the 29th then, sorry, maybe then to bring our report together and present that and see how many people say, okay, well, I support this document and sign, so we can submit to the CPA saying, okay, we have X number of persons who have signed this document, and here are the representation.
Right. Next meeting is this Monday.
15th.
7 p.m.?
7 p.m. to 9 p.m. West Bay Chapel on Town Hall Road.
Okay. Right across from what is now the library, used to be the town hall.
Right.
Okay. Pastor Stan Church, close by Miss Edith and Miss Stewart's, if anybody. Okay. So right there.
Right.
Same said place.
Same said place.
Okay. So that's the idea. This coming Monday, and then God's willing, the Monday following.
Correct.
All right. And then that report then is sent to planning department, planning minister.
Well, the planning department is the sort of administrative arm of the CPA.
Okay.
Central Planning Authority, CPA Planning Board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So we were saying, using the words, what is the statement saying? What is it trying to say? And what is it not saying? Would that be a good place to start this next discussion?
Okay.
Okay.
So, for example, the vision is to maintain and enhance the quality of life in the islands. What's the quality of life currently? I don't know. I don't know if we've had a quality of life survey to determine where we are.
Right.
Again, that's getting back to the baseline data that I'm referring to.
Right.
So if we know that 75% of the people are very happy with their quality of life now.
Right.
And 5-10 years down the road, that's 80. Okay, well, 5% more people are happy with the way we're going.
Right. So at the outset, I very consciously made a statement. I thought about it for maybe another second and said I would say it the way I said it. And that we're not just talking about the physical building of stuff. or that impact on the stuff that already exists, the mangroves, the beach, the coastlines. It's the people who are building, people who are going to remain. That's what comes into that statement.
Yes.
Okay, so I wasn't just saying something,
No.
I was actually making sense. Boy, you validated me. No, and the reason why is that getting people to understand that this is more than just something that's driven by the CPA or is about planning or construction or development as we see it. This is, we say, to maintain and enhance the quality of life
in the Cayman Islands by ensuring that development promotes the most desirable. Just 1 second here.
Yeah. You got to commit to memory. I want to go into a few of the words there. All right.
That promotes the most desirable balance of economic, social, and environmental outcomes.
Okay. All right. So that's what it's saying. Take us through. And see, that's economics right there.
Just up your alley.
You see it, boy, on a good day too,
Right.
All right.
This is the only somewhat issue I have with that is that under the Planning Act, Schedule 2 tell you those matters for which can be included in the development plan.
Yeah.
The economy, economic concerns is not one of those matters.
Nope.
So should that be included in this document?
It is a personal. Sorry.
No. So again, that's some of the things I said earlier, but what I say was not saying what I should say.
Yeah.
But I leave that particular aspect, including things that the Planning Act does not prescribe, that can be included in the planning statement.
Yeah. I'll defer my question now because I think it will cause people. Yeah. So that's what it's saying. Trying to say.
Yes. Again, so then the primary objectives of the plan is to maintain and enhance the economy, society, and environment, ensuring that all development seeks to balance and integrate social, environmental, and economic considerations to meet the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations.
Yeah.
Or common future.
Yeah. That word economic, I think, has been referenced 3 times now.
And it's referenced quite a bit in the document.
A subjective response, but do you think that the word economic in that sense is somewhat being used to mean the same thing as financial?
I would say no, but I think if we go down an in-depth analysis of that question, we'll be here until tomorrow.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay.
And this is where it's important to understand these things and try to find out what is it that we're trying to achieve and how do we do that in the best way, right? Okay. I'm listening and I'm almost learning. I'm paying attention at least. Talk to me, sir.
Okay, so look at these. They have 7 key strategic objectives. Housing, transportation, climate resilience, natural environment, economic development, infrastructure, community facilities. Housing. He said we want to encourage the availability of an appropriate mix of housing for the whole community. Now, the CPA, because the CPA is one that's supposed to implement this development plan, encouraging the availability of an appropriate mix of housing. They really can't. That's what they could do it verbally, but something that is more sort of implementable is that if they we're going to set aside 50 acres of land for lower income persons. People. They can do that.
Yeah.
By having that zoning map showing those acres.
But what if you did, again, I like to think, right? Sometimes I even talk after thinking. Not a bad thing to try. So you have a development being proposed. private or by government or whatever. And in that, you say, I'm going to build purely residential, no mixed use, nothing else. I'm going to have a house that is 1,000 square feet, one that's 10,000 square feet, and all interspersed throughout. And you allow it to be as dense as you can. That could achieve a mix of different types of housing, right?
Yes.
And they all could exist in that quote unquote developed area. But we don't do that.
No. And while I was in Canada studying, over in Vancouver, they had a couple of projects. Again, multi-story residential buildings. And within that, they took maybe, let's say, a 3,000 square foot unit and broke that into 4 1,000 square foot units.
Oh, that's good math.
Oh.
I like that. I'm messing with you, man. I should be here. No, but I get what you're saying.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Broke that into 3 1,000.
Yeah.
3 1,000 square foot units. So now they have 3 lower income persons living again within the same building of these 3,000 square foot units.
Somebody is in a larger space and someone is in a smaller space, but they all live in, relatively speaking, in the same space. In the same. Makes sense.
Makes sense.
And then you could move, if you so choose, because of your financial ability or the needs of your lifestyle or family, from that 1,000 square foot to 3,000 square foot. And you don't have to move from, too far.
No.
But it's not how the old communities used to be.
Yes, sir.
And now that if you look at some parts of the U.S., I know there's a name that the realtors like to coin all the time, but these little carriage homes and the huge estates, for whatever reason, they're being chopped and chipped and changed. But that's what's happening. But yet, boy, it came on, boy. We got Texas size LDs with Japanese size land. Smart, huh?
Smart.
But yeah, boy.
I
don't do sarcasm well, but that was obvious.
I know. Probably when you were growing up in school as well, you said we had 100 square miles. Now you're saying we got 93 square miles between the 3 islands.
Yeah.
Now, I think that's just because now we have better technology to actually calculate the acreage or the square miles of the island.
You think so? Because, I was going to say, if you had 100 growing up, all the dredging and filling, but maybe we exported some of the land. I don't know. But this is, hopefully, people will see that, there's something. Mr. Ebanks, we do have a caller on the WhatsApp, sir. Let's take this next call. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, good evening, gentlemen.
How are you today? How are you?
Good afternoon.
Well, not bad. Could be better. Could be worse too.
That is true. Yeah.
But I really enjoy. Probably wouldn't have called in if Cyrus wasn't there. Right, remember this story?
Thanks a lot, man.
We had 50 years ago.
Sorry?
Whom we are developing for.
Yes, sir.
Remember we had a conversation 50 years ago?
That long ago, but no, you started.
Just before you went to study.
Oh, okay,
just before you went off to study, remember?
Yep.
Okay, well, that still lingers, eh?
Still lingers, sir.
Too much, too quick, too fast.
Yep.
So I guess we're at a place now. Where do we go from here?
Where do we go from here?
So this was all about now, right? This whole intertanglable projective conversations is just spurring around. Where do we go from here, and how? Well, the first thing is that, and it takes the people to become more involved in their sovereignty in their country.
I couldn't agree more, sir.
It seems like what has happened is, for instance, if someone stay in Timbuktu and buy a piece of property without even come to Cayman for $1 million today, sit on it for 6 months, sell it after 6 months for 1.5. What has just happened there is it's driving the cost, the price of land completely away from our native people. So we got, and you know, speaking of land, because that's where the conversation is going to come down to.
Mm-hmm.
Land and people.
As good and strong and powerful, I have found no evidence that God is making any more land. So preservation seems to be a thing that, you know, it's got to be more is better. You know, whatever happened to sustained development? Now, it's hard because of Cayman developing, you know, we've built on human resources, and it's hard to turn people away. I've heard that from politicians, but they'll go elsewhere and whatever. But again, it's like people have to be the first real stakeholders. The people of a country cannot be left out in the shuffle as to development. It has ruined a lot of countries in the world where countries has gone on, escalated so fast and far ahead that the people can't keep up with it.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the schools. I heard a conversation on the radio where there was an argument that it was saying that the children or the people should be responsible for getting their education, whatever. Like, in other words, the government shouldn't be the driving factors behind it. But you look at most third world countries, it's the government. Usually, you take people that come from some of the greatest third world countries in the world. Those people come out with a skill because they have prepared their people, regardless of how much and how otherwise they have taken advantage of them. They have provided the people with a necessity of life learning that will serve them well in any way they go. They prepare them for the real world.
Right.
We haven't done that here. And I understand that, you know, the immigration has become a money-making factor for Cayman. You know, it's like a compulsory revenue that we have. But it comes at a serious cost because today's short-term gains will be tomorrow long-term gains. It's not two ways about that. I don't want to sound like a prophet of doom here, right?
Mm-hmm.
But again, it has to be a better balance, and that's what we always be fighting for.
Right.
Everywhere in the world, people are fighting for that. A better balance between the haves and the have-nots. And land, most wars was caused over that, fighting for the power and the land value.
Yeah.
We have to have a check and balance in all of that. I don't think that we should be selling land anymore. I think we should be trying to lease it. And I know, you know, they can justify, oh, well, you know, people don't want to buy, you know, they want to lease, they don't want to lease, they want to buy. But again, remember, that was politicians, I understand, that moved the high water mark from the beach to where the vegetation is. But before, right now, practically, you have to say that everywhere that you walk on the beach, you could be trespassing.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll clarify that for you. There's a popping and a little beeping. We are hearing you, but just that you know. Mr. Ebanks, the last comment or any others you want to respond to, so?
Like the high water mark, just sort of the other way around, in that it used to initially be up by the vegetation mark, and now they moved it down to
the surf almost.
Yeah, the surf, like basically where the under normal conditions where the waves would sort of lap on the beach in some places, but 15, 20, 25 feet. Depending on the slope of the beach, it may be less or more. But now it's a much, much narrower than it used to be previously.
Yeah.
And again, I think that's one of the shortcomings of this document, in my opinion, that they haven't addressed issues like that as much as, again, in my opinion, they should.
We're not going to dismiss you without asking you, caller. Anything else you want to share?
So, let me just say this.
Yes, sir.
For you cut me off.
No, not cutting you off. No, yeah.
No, but I mean, you know, you can go on forever, right?
Wow, well, I got try.
I understand that there is some places in North America when you purchase people on the coastline and you purchase property, when people purchase property, it also extends a certain distance out in the water. Am I correct in saying that, Clyde? Would you know that to be a fact?
Well, it would depend on where, again, your property boundaries start and end. Again, to an extent, it happens here as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
Because you
but the average Caymanian, that's the point I was hoping that you would say, that you would come to. The average Caymanian doesn't know that, doesn't feel that, because I've been jogging on the beach before, and I've had property owner come out at me with dogs and tell me that I need to stop alarming his dogs because I am jogging on his property. I am running on his property, and I'm down at the surface of the sea.
Yeah, and in a few instances, it goes beyond that. Along one property, there's some some ledges that sort of defined the high water mark. So you would actually have to walk out into the sea to walk around, to not be quote unquote trespassing along that property.
But that wasn't the case. It went right down in the surface of the sea, right? That's where it was, right? And, sometimes the mother warned me up, you know that. But I always thought, and plenty of Caymanians do think that is, more or less, that is legit, that is not, where anyone could have bought or it's almost like that's a free passway.
But under prescription law, you have the right to pass over the beach. It doesn't give you the right to use owners or people's furniture, what have you. But you could, the actual high water mark now, I say, which is, it's called 25 feet from the edge of the sea. That is now sort of the defined high water mark, and that's where your public right of way is now. And it's very unfortunate, and you might see some signs selling some waterfront property. So it comes with a private beach.
There you have it. So that's
yes.
the thrills of buying it.
Yeah.
So that's a lure, right?
Yes, sir.
But a lot of Caymanians are not educated. They haven't been taught. They haven't kept up with the changes in this global market as to what and how and why things are the way it is. Because you see, political science thing isn't taught in schools. That type of thing isn't taught. And a lot of people are not, educated to their rights. They think sometimes they have more rights. A lot of people think, Caymanians think that being Caymanian is enough.
Sorry. And I ask you to leave us there for a minute. I don't want to, but there are a couple of things else I want to get to, and maybe some other calls may want to come on as well. So, I hate doing this highlight, but I would.
You're a good host, sir.
Respectfully ask you to all right. Give us some time.
Yeah, man. Hey, thanks very much, right?
I appreciate it.
Okay, appreciate it.
Man, listen.
All right, enjoy it.
Yeah.
Steve Banks, we do have that quick break, callers, and then we can get to the point, so that'll be fine. I was trying to navigate no commercials, but boy, you didn't pay for this lot. All right, stay tuned for Talk Today.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Summer's heating up, and so are the good times. Whether you are out on the water, enjoying the beach, or gathering with colleagues for an office bash, make it a feast to remember with Subway. From assorted sandwich platters to mouth-watering cookies, our catering menu has something for everyone. perfect for groups of 5 or more. For food that's fresh, fast, and perfect for any occasion, choose Subway Catering. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Can you tell me what does a turtle do on his birthday? He celebrates! Celebrate your loved one's special birthday with a birthday shout-out live on For the Record with Mr. Orette Connor, only on Radio Cayman. WhatsApp your loved one's name to 925-3261. That's 925-3261. Radio Cayman's birthday shout-outs live on For the Record with Mr. Orette Connor every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Brought to you by Coca-Cola. Available across the Cayman Islands. From Tortuga Wholesalers. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. And by Superior Auto. They keep your car in tune. Call 949-9570 or 525-9571. Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And thanks to Mr. Kenneth Ebanks for sitting with us as we try to maybe get an appreciation of what is transpiring. Sir, we do have another caller online.
Okay.
Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling. Yeah, hello?
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Afternoon, sir. How are you today?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
I'm doing fine. Ormond here in West Bay.
Good afternoon, Armand.
So, yeah, hello. Yeah, just identifying myself. And we're living in extraordinary times, my friend. If we pay attention, and we have been paying attention for so many years, and the way we see it is not what the Johnny come lately are seeing or saying. They take our kindness for weakness, and indeed, we are some sort of a weak person. We are too kind for what's happening to this island. I want to find out a couple of things.
Okay, I'll try my best to answer your questions.
Yeah. Let's take a day like today. I think it's probably one of the hottest days of the year. Now, we're going to talk about our government and our politicians, bearing in mind that we have some of the best politicians that money can buy, okay? La Corvia has demolished all of their condos and going to start putting up, I guess, a couple of 10-story, 12-story buildings. But yet the government of the day can see it fit to agree that CUC can have an increase from us to expand their the company for more whatever electricity or expanding more. Now, when you have these multi-millionaires and billionaires coming into your island, the government of the day can't say to CUC, look, these people are coming in here. You better try to get some money from those people. I said that to say this. Some poor Caymanians, really poor Caymanians, not that they are lazy, which you hear every day, Caymanians don't want to work. It's not that Caymanians don't want to work. Caymanians don't want to slave. Because I was one of those that was making $95 a month and was glad to get it. But you got people coming in here, these hungry belly people, they are literally into the new world slave trade. If you had a government of the day, you can't take advantage of your own people. Where is the government of the day? Where is I haven't heard any of them had a real meeting yet. They are so kajal, means quiet, not saying anything, just going along and do as they see fit. This country, like the last caller said, where we're going, we are on our way out, specifically for one reason. We do not gather the gumption together, then flex a couple of muscles and say to the government, look, no, this is not good enough. You know, this island, my good friends, let me tell you, we are in some dire straits in this island, and nobody, and I say the public, I hope they're listening, this is one of the poorest governments that we have elected.
Yeah. Mr. Oman, would you be so kind, sir, as to make ask a question or make a comment more concerning the
planning statement?
Yeah, the development plan. I know that it's ultimately the politician that has to approve any changes to it. But for right now, I would prefer to sort of not go down that road too much. And stick more with what some of the changes are that they're proposing to make to the development plan.
Right, I will do that.
Thank you, sir.
Number one is, you see, this is number one, what happens to us. We are afraid to go down that road. However, put that
No. I am not afraid to go down that road, sir. But I'm here today trying to
keep the conversation specific to this thing, given the timeline of the 31st.
Answer that.
Yes, sir.
The government of the day, regardless of what you are trying to accomplish, Mr. Ebanks, the government of the day, from so many of us see it for so long ago, they're going to do as they want to do and as they see fit. You know, I encourage you, but look, it's not encouraging to see what's happening to the beautiful island, you know. We have no say, you know. If you have money, it's fine. If you don't have money, you can stay on the sideline. So they, in my opinion, they're going to do as they see fit. It's obvious, plain to see what they're doing. So that's my opinion about that, my friend. They're going to do as they see fit. So thank you very much and have a pleasant day, guys.
Right. And if I
Thanks
might,
for calling, man.
Yeah, to you, Mr. Orman, Off-Rig did issue a press release. Hope I got it in paraphrasing. CUC wanted one rate increase according to the 2008 license that the CUC has with the government. That was approved because the license for its transmission distribution allows it. Off-Rig, if I understand it correctly, refused a second rate increase and it just shows that you have an entity in the form of OFRIG, not just with the competence, but with, I think what Mr. Ebanks is referring to, with the wherewithal to say, hey, we're going to do what is within our power to do, approve or disallow, as is the case. So I think the interim CEO, Mr. Miles, and his board seemingly is very much actively involved, seemingly providing what appears to be more timely information to the public on what is happening, what is before them. If that sounds like a compliment, I certainly don't mind saying it, but it sounds like it's well deserved.
I would agree.
Yeah.
And bringing that whole discussion back to the development plan and the CPA planning board, development control board,
which is in the BRAC.
In the BRAC.
Yeah, okay.
In the sister islands. I mean, they sit in the BRAC.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they're responsible for the sister islands. Sometimes we don't agree with some of the decisions that are made by those boards.
Right.
But then again, if they make those decisions based on their law and regulations that they have to work under, then they're complying with the law.
And they may be constrained by
again, what is in or not in the regulation.
Right. And this is
and the zoning. So that's why it's imperative, and sort of piggybacking on what Omar was saying a few minutes ago. It's imperative that we as Caymanians, go out there and lobby the persons that you whether you voted for them or not, didn't vote for them, but the persons that are the people.
That's another part of the cultural psyche that has been so negatively affected, right? But that's for a conversation for today, not tomorrow. All right.
Yeah, so go out there and get real close to your representative and tell him or her, we do not appreciate how things are going, and if you do not change your modus operandi come next election, I won't be voting for you.
Right. Now, it is for the elected government during its term of office to do that thing which it, thinks it should do, whatever the motivation. One parliament can't bind a future parliament. I'll be mindful because this isn't meant to be anything other than just a comment. But we don't have a parliament. We have this legislative body. And if you think I'm wrong, ask people who actually know. That's a fair statement, right? We got people who mean well, who pass laws, but at the end of the day, they can be overridden, not by courts, but by higher legislative bodies, right? So they may do something. Why I belabor that somewhat, this planning statement, this review comes to pass. It may or may not reach amended legislation before the next election, or it may be part of an ongoing exercise to inform future policy. Have you, either formally or informally, any indication as to, you got the 31st of this month to get this thing in? What sort of timeline, what sort of indications that this thing might come to pass in the form of new or amended legislation before the next general election?
Again, I think it's be highly unlikely because, you got the end of this month, all your representation for or against the proposed amendments submitted. The department and the CPA then go through those, say we agree, disagree, whatever. They then submit their report to appeal, the Development Plan Appeals Tribunal. Now, during my time, they had several appeals tribunals set up to try to expedite the process. Whether they'll do that again this time, I'm not sure. But so, go from the CPA to the appeals tribunal. The appeals tribunal do their report. That report goes back to the CPA. The CPA looks at it and says, okay, we agree, or we don't agree. We want to make these changes. Then that's submitted to Cabinet. Cabinet goes through it, and Cabinet submits it to Parliament.
Right.
I don't see that happening all of that happening within the next, 9 months more or less.
With an expected election sometime in April.
April.
For me, this is a good thing, and it should not preclude the public to say, well, they're not going to do nothing with it anyway. Why bother? This is an opportune time, because the next administration, whether it's the same one, a mixture, or completely different, has something to work with. And you as a public has made an input that could help to inform, if I heard you correctly, the next administration early on to, hit the ground running with something.
Hit the ground running.
So let's not say, well, they won't do anything because they don't have time or whatever. Let's not bother. You want to play marbles, you got to get players, you got to get the marbles, you got to clear the sand, you got to draw, in the circle and put them. You got to start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere.
So this is a good start.
Yep. Right. And as again, why this is so important is because now, after this phase, you then have what we call area plans.
Okay.
Which is where the zoning, what have you, come in now.
Mm-hmm.
And they've split up the area into various areas. They do specific area plans for each of those.
Yeah,
we got a break coming.
Yeah. I couldn't ignore her, man. I was trying to, but she jumped up on the desk and she would be, no, she didn't do that. All right, we got to take a break. I want to ask about those area plans and what I mean, and is that binding or just advisory and so on. And I'll try to remember during the break, the late Burns Connolly talked about zoning and something else, another word he used to use. And I can't remember what that was because it meant something, but I'll talk to you about that.
Okay.
All right, join us after the break.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Refer a friend and get $50 to spend when your friend or family member opens a personal account with Cayman National. From July 9th to September 30th, 2024, C&B customers can earn $50 for each referral who opens an individual or joint personal account. Earn up to $500 with a maximum of 10 referrals. Visit CaymanNational.com for more details on this promotion and follow us on social media for updates. Terms and conditions apply.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
For the Health of It, heard on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and repeated on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. is brought to you by The Light Room. Tired of being unwell and struggling to find the energy and vitality to live the life you desire? Come get recharged from the inside out at The Light Room. Our non-invasive, holistic energy enhancement system detoxifies and energizes the body, enabling self-healing and balance. Book online at www.thelightroom.ky or call 938-HEAL, 38 Pasadora Place, GT.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
The Ministry of Education and the Passport and Corporate Services Office remind all students traveling to and from school overseas to ensure their passports are valid for both travel and entry into their destination country. Passports should be renewed at least 10 weeks before departure, and any necessary student visas must be obtained. For passport services, contact the Passport and Corporate Services Office at 649-7678. For Ministry of Education scholarship inquiries, contact scholarships@gov.ky. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Education and the Passport and Corporate Services Office.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us, and thanks to Mr. Kenneth Ebanks for sitting with us. And just as a quick reminder, in case someone missed it or only joined us now, you and members, primarily, I guess, within the West Bay community, having a series of meetings. The next one is this coming Monday, 7 p.m. So Monday, July 15th, 7 to 9 p.m. at the Chapel Church of God, West Bay sort of hall. Okay. And this is looking at the planning statement with a view that this Monday, the one following, we'll meet, and then the third one after that on the 29th, put it all together with a view that this thing then will be formalized and presented by the 31st to the planning department as the administrative arm for the repository for these reports.
Correct.
Okay, not a bad summary. Susan, thanks for telling me how to say that. All right, so we're going through it. You were talking about it. We had a couple of callers. Really appreciate you taking time. It's a lot, and we recognize that it's not just a few people getting together doing nothing. It's a lot of work. So people like yourselves who make yourselves available, thanks for having that interest.
Thanks. I would just like to take 1 second, a little more than that, but to say that I am not doing this with any political with any political.
Yes, we need a chocolate earlier. All right. But we're good though.
Oh yeah.
But check out discipline. But you wait till after the break. All right. He was eating some chocolate, man, and he got to rush it down to get back to the commercial. All right.
Yeah. So I will not be a candidate for the next general election. I'm doing this because I said the islands have been good to me, and I see this as one way of me giving back something to the islands.
Well, I pray that you will be a very active, engaged voter and citizen, as you have been, as many of us should be, the next election and the one following that. So,
thank you, sir.
All right. So that your motivation isn't anything other than bringing to bear what the country has given you, an opportunity to give back.
Precisely. And the CPA asking for feedback. I'm trying to give as much as we can.
And then if you get a bunch of people together, put it all in one space, that's better than having maybe 15 different little bits and pieces that might get lost as opposed to it all into one concise document.
It'll be a lot easier for you again when you put your report together now. You said going through one document is much easier than going through 15, 20, 100.
Fair enough. But thank you and to Ms. Marsden and others who are helping to do the admin to get it. All right. So we're going through it.
And some of them would have joined me today, but prayer commitments, some don't feel like comfortable coming on the radio as well. So.
You're being kind, man. I would joke and say, they don't be sitting next to that fella. See you in a pink shirt today? No, we understand that many people don't like. If I had a choice in my mind, this is not a career that I would have picked. Honestly. I mean, I do have that choice, but this is not something that I ever thought I would do. But you know what? You place in a place, give it your very best. Be as, humble, have as much humility and integrity. And I'm here to facilitate. If I'm a candidate at the next election, if I'm the next premier, the next governor, if you know what, I'm just going fishing and cleaning the fish that you catch. I want to be a meaningful contributor. All right. So thanks again. So we're going through this now. Help us to get it.
Okay. So I said they got these objectives. I think we're going through a couple of those: housing, transportation, natural environment, economic development, infrastructure, community facilities. And with all those objectives, again, how they want to, or how those objectives then will play a part in the document. For example, the natural environment want to promote and secure the biological diversity and ensure the sustainable use of natural resources. Again, I get back to population. It's very hard to do that with the level of population growth that we have experienced.
Mm-hmm.
The planning statement itself says that between 1990 and 2022, the population grew from, give me 2 minutes, it grew from 26,969. Let's go from 27,000. Grew from 27,000 in 1990 to 81,500 in 2022. That's over 3 times. Or more than 300%.
Your population tripled in that short period of time.
32 years.
Right, 3 decades, and you had a tripling.
Which equates to roughly 9.4% population growth per year.
Compounded, huh?
So, that is not sustainable. And if you keep that up, it is no way that you're going to be able to use your natural resources sustainably.
No, that's why we throw about it, that we really has become a cliche.
Yeah. Sustainable. I don't know whether or not the cameras can pick this up if I was to...
I think Susan might be able to, you know. I mean, can you pick it up? All right, so this is a graphic for people. Miss Susan will zoom in on it.
Okay. If you look up here back in 1960, the blue line is represent Caymanians, the red line, non-Caymanians. So in 1960, we had roughly 98% of Caymanians, but 2% non-Caymanians. By 1999, we just had about 52% of the population being Caymanians, roughly 48% being non-Caymanians. That went along, up and down, for various reasons, which we won't go into today, until 2022. Over here, we saw where the red line, non-Caymanians, surpassed the blue line, Caymanians. And that was reported by ESO. We have more non-Caymanians than Caymanians.
And this is even taking into account the significant number of people who have been given status in that 32 years.
Yeah.
Right? So even with that, we call it the mass status grant of 2003. Even with that, you're still finding that the non-Caymanian population has increased and outstripped the Caymanian population.
Yes, sir.
All right. It's just a statistical analysis, right? Okay.
Yeah. Maybe look at a bit. This graph may be a bit more illuminating. Ms. Susan, can you zoom in on this a bit, please?
Yeah, she's gonna try, but it's gonna be a challenge.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Too small.
That's what she. Yeah, that's what she said. Okay. But anyway, but you can just put it in and try it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, again, here now back in 1802, we had our first first census.
Yeah.
Going along that red line, you'll see the population gradually increasing.
Right.
Until 1970.
Yeah. So 1960 in the green, and then 1970. Okay.
Right.
And
after 1970, so it started. The increase became more pronounced.
Very exponential, almost, huh? Yeah.
Each decade. And I said, when you got that type of population increase, it's just no way, and it's such a short time.
Right.
It's literally impossible for you to plan for that because you don't know who you're planning for.
Right.
Or how many you're planning for.
Yeah. If I'm looking at that carefully, right, 1999, you got what? Just under 40,000, right? And then in 2022, you got reportedly almost,
82,000.
Right. And then there are those who probably say that's probably not even accurate. But if you're going in that short period of time, you've doubled your population. The US, but no, let's just use the UK. 80 million people in the UK? If they triple their population in 3 decades, what does that mean? If the US with 300 plus million triples it, what does that mean? Yeah. All right, we have the news break, sir. Can we just pause and we go through the rest when we come back?
Well, it's very apparent we're not going to get through.
But the meeting is Monday night.
Okay.
Who knows?
Yeah. Okay, go to the news break.
All right. Thank you, sir. Stay tuned. Join us after.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Zollins. Cayman Enterprise City announces the installation of new artwork by Caymanian digital artist Michael Mothin, also known as Banana Art Kid, at the Rotary Central Bus Shelter on Fairbanks Road. The project is part of a digital artist in residency initiative, which supports Cayman's digital artist community through innovative projects, programming, and creative workspaces. In international news, the Prince of Wales will attend the Euro 2024 final in Berlin on Sunday to watch England play Spain. Kensington Palace has confirmed. He will be joined by Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer as the England men's team aim to secure their first major trophy in 58 years. Prince William is president of the Football Association and attended England's victory over Switzerland in the quarter-final and the group stage match against Denmark. Hackers stole call and text records data from nearly all of 109 million AT&T wireless customers, the telecommunications company disclosed on Friday. The firm said one suspect had been arrested after the records from May to October 2022 were illegally downloaded and copied to a third-party platform this April. The stolen data did not contain the content of calls or texts, but did record the numbers contacted, as well as the number and lengths of interactions, the company said. The Justice Department said the delayed announcement of the hack was justified on national security grounds. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Zollins.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
Cayman Islands, your input can shape our future. Plan Cayman needs your input on the updated planning statement to create a sustainable community for everyone. Help shape Cayman's future by participating in public consultations with the Central Planning Authority and the Ministries for Planning and Sustainability. Together, we can build a thriving Cayman. For details and to find the meeting closest to you, visit plancayman.ky. Your voice matters. Let's plan Cayman together.
It's game time, Subway fans. We're upping our sub game with the Subway Series menu, an all-star lineup of 6 delicious recipes. Just order by name or number and we'll do the rest. Whether you're catching a quick lunch or just need a tasty victory, the Subway Series menu is coming in clutch. Subway Series, easy to order, hard to resist. Try it today, only at Subway. Eat fresh.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Did you know that there are over 300 public rights of ways to the shoreline across the 3 Cayman Islands? Now you can find them easily with the new Shoreline iMap at gov.ky/shoreline.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us, and to Mr. Kenneth Ebanks for sharing this opportunity with us. Hopefully, it's not too late for others to either come to the meetings or even in other districts or parts of districts to maybe do something similar with a view of one individual putting forward a perspective or a number of people getting together. But if we don't do, right? All right. I believe, sir, as we're going through the discussion, I'm just told we have a caller joining us. I know we're going to get through the document somewhat, but not all today.
No, but that's part of the document, public feedback.
Public feedback. Okay. Let's take this call. Hey, thanks for listening. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Dwayne.
Hey, how are you today?
I am very well. And to your guest, and I want to say good afternoon too. I didn't hear who it was, but I can't get over you coming up with this subject. I want to ask, they said, who are we developing a country for?
Mm-hmm.
It's certainly Caymanian. We got a thing called Cayman coin, right? Going on. We said be Cayman coin.
Yes.
You tell me when I go to the craft market and look and see if I see the server out there, is it a Caymanian? We can't have a Caymanian serving those juices, those vegetables they're selling. What is a Caymanian? Can you specify a Caymanian for me?
I could venture both in terms of legislation, but if it's not improper and impolite, what would be your definition? What's your view of a Caymanian?
My view as a Caymanian, let me just say,
Mm-hmm.
of my grandchildren trying to get into school now, I have to acknowledge them. They're born here to all Cayman parents and got birth papers. Now for my 4-year-old grandson to get into school now, I had to go and get him acknowledged. You had to get acknowledged when you went to Wesley Primary.
You know,
with your medical and your immunization card and ready to work for him to get. I don't know how I got into school.
as I listen to you, I don't think people understand how offensive that is to us, right? How egregious that is when I heard Dr. Steve say it, where you would and reference that after 50 years or whatever, one day he goes to pay his practicing certificate, to be treated in that way. I don't think people understand that level of emotion. So to you, I certainly hear. I hope the people are cognizant of what that means, but maybe that's part of the plan. Anything else you want to share with us?
Miss Janet Thompson, I know she know who I am, and I guess you hear who I am too. I applaud her for getting on the radio every day. I do not call in, but I just want to give you an incident talking about this acknowledgement for my grandbaby. I went to work. I drove a car. When I got into the work parking lot, you know what I was told? You can't park in here. I asked the security, where do the people that come to work have to now park their car? She don't know. I said, why would work move there somewhere where they didn't have a parking lot? It's work a part of the immigration.
And for those listeners, WORC, the Workplace Opportunities Residency came on.
It's still a part of immigration because I see people coming there to get stamp or permit. So it got to be a part of immigration. Would that be what you would assume? Because I know if I got to get a permit or I got to get a stamp or re-entry, I got to deal with CBC or go up by the immigration up across from the glass house or place. You know what I told the security? And I hope everybody listening, because I told it to her. I said, ma'am, you work for which security company? She said, Sterling. I said, well, if you can't tell your manager, please give him my number, because I would like to talk to him. I said, government has a big parking lot behind the immigration department. Georgetown is full of buildings and no parking spaces. Government offers shopping service from the parking lot to the glass house. Tell the people to park their car up on this immigration parking lot and shut them down to work. And have a shuttle service all day for us.
Thanks very much. And the caller's point ties into this planning statement. The issue of physical development, the population growth. Well, you're much more diplomatic than some of us are. Thank you very much for that call. And before we take the next call, Mr. Ebanks.
Again, yes, parking, not only a problem in Grand Cayman more so than the Sister Islands. That's a worldwide issue. A number of jurisdictions, they address it differently. Somehow we have done here is to provide the off-site parking. So, for example, the new government admin building, their parking is like behind immigration. So that's termed off-site parking. Before it used to be 500 feet from the building, now it's 700 feet. So what you were saying, yes, park up there, but let the public know. Go park there. There's a shuttle running. You can go then to walk or any place else you need to go, sort of government related.
Provide that way for people to get to you, but also make them know, hey, this is where you park. And
but again, she has a point whereby choosing that location, knowing that your clientele basically, and not have more sufficient parking for it. Which again, sufficient parking is a bit vague, but insufficient parking definitely is not that kosher.
All right. Well, respectfully, thank that caller again. Let's take this next one and then maybe. Yeah, hello, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good
How are you
afternoon.
today? How are you?
Blessed and highly favored, and you?
Oh, awesome. I'm glad to hear that you are that.
Well, I see some work going on down in Boston Bay here with Island Paving coming to do one speed bump here. But where they putting this speed bump doesn't make one bit of sense. And the problem is when these people come and do this kind of work, because I've been calling this talk show until I blew in my face from Art McLean days. You understand?
You've been asking about that, yeah? Mm-hmm.
Listen, and these people is still come down here and put these speed bumps in the wrong places. Where they put the speed bump doesn't make no sense. And I hope they're making a good high one because it's not going to stop no traffic. It's not going to stop no traffic. The traffic is flowing through here like crazy. And all the houses in Boston Bay is partly on the road. Okay? And I'm one of them that living down here. So I know the road, I know the place, and I know where these speed bumps are supposed to go. And no representative I call burn the bush, and he not grunt. You understand? He not answer his phone. Okay? So it's like these people doing business. They hand our money, government money, like it belongs to them and them only. And it's politics time now, so they coming out now. From the time I've been calling and asking about this, they're just coming out now. You understand? And they're still doing it the wrong way. And they know me. They know where I live. They know I on a talk show all the time. Like they don't know. And when they see me, they avoid me. You understand? They avoid me. But like I say, our people, I don't know when they're going to wake up. They're coming like they're suffocated. You understand? They need to wake up. They need to wake up and see that these people are not representing us. You understand? They're representing their pockets. And I don't business if they like me or not. Because at the end of the day, I'm not speaking out like this because I want to hear myself, or I want other people to hear me, or make me sound like I'm a troublemaker. Because that's the first thing to say is about people that speak up and stuff and whistleblowers that we are troublemakers. We're not troublemakers. We like to see things going good. You understand? And people living down there, you got children, you got church, you got everybody is living on the road. The houses is near the road. I'm the nearest. I'm a roundabout. You understand? And I've been preaching about these, and I know exactly where these speed bumps have to go. And these people is just doing it. And I hope it's not the one when they come and drop down because they make it look like they're doing something because they're not doing anything. Because if you're not doing it right, you might as well don't do it because you don't benefit.
Yes,
and I know this talk show to make people hear me or because or have this talk because I know how Caymanians is, you know, they shush around the corner and they make you stamp in the front and stamp and speak out and try to get things. And when you look behind, none of them to back you, but when time to benefit from it, they would push you out of the way. They would kill you to get there, to get the benefit from it. So I know how my people stand. They're very, very, very deceitful and conniving. And
yes.
this is where they come and put the speed bump down. I mean, it does not serve no purpose. Wasting government money again. Burn the bush, know where I live. He could come knock on my door.
Yeah. Mr. Ebanks. All right, to that caller, sir. I mean, 18 minutes past.
These speed bumps, they definitely serve a purpose to somewhat reduce people from speeding or number of people speed. And when they get to these speed bumps, then that they have to slow down. But again, if they're not put in the right location, yes, then they don't really have that much utility.
Correct place in the correct location, like you say.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm not saying that slow down the traffic. I know it will slow down the traffic, but where they're putting it,
yes,
it serves no purpose.
Have you tried speaking to anyone at NRA?
If I try speaking to anyone at NRA?
Yes, ma'am.
No, I spoke to communicated with the minister for NRA. Long time.
Well,
he's aware of the situation. The one that came down and got it marked out.
You really can't go much higher than that.
Mm-hmm. But to the caller, it's again sort of ties in with this exercise.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you talk to the public that are affected by something, and if the public has been responding, are you able to give them, that need attention? Mm-hmm. Thanks very much for sharing. But this lady has called consistent, as you said, from Ad McLean days when you want the roads to be safer, using, speed bumps as a way maybe to reduce the speed. Thanks very much. And I'll say this. One listener says, love this caller's passion, and comments are spot on. All right, I'm going to ask Miss Susan to do something we rarely do, but I borrow from Miss Torsey. Just hang on to the phones now. No more calls for a bit. So it's only 10 minutes, and I don't know about you, but you probably want to go fishing if you could, right? I want to benefit from some of the things you have to say, and perhaps invite you and or other members later on to come back and talk about if possible. But would that be okay to you? I mean, or do you want to engage the public further? Happy to close the lines just to get you a chance to go through the few things so that we have a better understanding.
Okay, let's just close the lines for a few, and then
yeah.
I mean, if you want to stay a little longer than 2:30.
Susan said, "Boy, she like a company, but
not that much." Susan, yeah. I understand. My own Susan says that at sometimes.
I'm not going there, boy.
No.
I'm not going there.
Okay, one of the issues being addressed in the proposed amendments talking about the appropriate and efficient use of land. Okay, how do we define what's appropriate? One way of doing it is that you have like non-conflicting uses. So residential, maybe residential, quote unquote light commercial, but no residential and heavy industrial.
Okay,
that's not appropriate. Efficient use of land. Efficient use of land. How can we determine that?
Yeah.
Let's take, most people know of lots being, they call a quarter an acre, 100 by 100. So if you had on a subdivision road 10 lots, 1,000 feet, 10 houses. Now if you split each of those lots in two, get 20 lots. In the same 1,000 feet, you now have 20 lots. Isn't that a much more efficient use of land? Right? So you're now serving twice as many people in the same distance, which means that your services, electricity, sewerage, water supply, garbage collection, all those things now become much more efficient because they're serving twice as many people in the same area. So that's one of the ways you can sort of measure how efficiently you're using the land. Again, that gets back to higher densities.
Yeah.
So now you have twice as many people living in the same area. So you're serving twice as many people. People want to look at have a lot more green space. Now, yes, you can have a lot more green space, but if you keep this sort of low density development, where you have 10 houses in 1,000 feet versus 20 houses, then you're not really contributing to preserving the open space.
Yeah, or even reallocating the way those residential units are constructed. You may end up having a smaller footprint in terms of building and more green space, depending on what you do.
Right.
Okay.
We also have what we call transferable development rights. We approached that back in the early 2000s when we were doing one of these reviews. It didn't go down that well. Maybe it won't go down that well now either, but it's one way of trying to achieve more open space, more setting aside more land for environmental purposes in the widest sense. And how that works, I mean, there are several adaptations to it, but generally, let's say you have an acre of land, and part of that acre is some pristine or is a Cayman parrot habitat. So you don't want to disturb that. Okay. On that acre of land, you were allowed to build 15 apartments. Now, but you could only go 3 stories high. So but you can't get those 15 apartments 3 stories high unless you use some of the land where that park reserve is.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, well, we want to keep the park reserve. We want to give you your 15 apartments. So we're going to allow you to go a little higher.
Mm-hmm.
Or, in another instance, still only allow you to put 10 there, but you could sell the rates that you have over that park reserve. You could sell them rates to me. I could use those rates and add onto some other land I have someplace else.
Interesting, no?
But that's one way, again, of trying to protect and provide some more open space, as well as using the land more efficiently.
Right. And I won't ask about the densities now in the interest of time, but also not to detract from the substantive document that we're talking about, right? But just your example of the 1,000 feet of property, how are we using it according to this plan statement? You know, the efficient, and effective use of land. These are discussions that we should be having that would hopefully inform this next round of this thing.
Right, because I said once this document is approved in whatever format, then that sort of informs the area plans.
Okay.
The area plans will then come into saying, okay, you have commercial here, you have residential here, you have industry here. Now, why they split the island up into these different areas is that what may be applicable commercial zone in Bordentown, the setbacks and the parameters around that may not be that applicable to West Bay or North Side. So when you get to West Bay or North Side, you can have some little different parameters for those commercial zones.
Right. Even in that, I can see potentially just the size of the land. Think of that planned area development. I think 40 acres is that number that was thrown about and that seemed to be accepted as gospel. Whether that's amended or not is another discussion. But if you have a property, say in this section here, that you could do a 3-story building, retail on the first, office on the second, and say residential on the third. But over here in this area, you can't even do a 3-story residential building. We're seeing that some land has a greater economic, financial value, even though it's the same size land, maybe just a few short, steps away from each other.
Right. Now, again, with the public input,
right?
Some people in District A may say, I don't want this. Some people say, okay, I want higher, taller buildings so I can have more view around the buildings as opposed to having the buildings spread almost over the entire lot. So, like everything else, there are pros and cons to everything, and at the end of the day, hopefully, what we do will benefit the majority of the population.
Okay. All right, so we're going through this now. It's still some time for these meetings, Monday, this coming Monday.
The 15th.
And then the following Monday, the 22nd, 7 p.m. to 9 at the Chapel Church Hall. What else do you want right now to share to the listening public, even about the document or the series of meetings or the whole process? I mean, like you said, that 2 hours and the initiative of part of the CPA across the entire country was just a cursory, almost an intro.
Yeah, but again, the law, the act, the Planning Act now. Sound like a play?
Yeah.
The Planning Act now talks about you should be doing these reviews at least once in every 5 years. But the last one was back in 1897. Now, if I do something that violates the law or an act, could get prosecuted. But if government does it, who prosecutes government?
Yeah.
For not following their own rules and laws and acts.
And how would they even go about bringing some sort of, I don't want to say judicial review, but in a loose way, to question that thing that government did.
Mm-hmm.
People might not know how to, they might not have the wherewithal, they might just be afraid. Interesting, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Who knew? This is why I appreciate you coming and sharing. Okay. Anything further, sir?
No, well, I don't know if I probably want to put any more emphasis on any one part of the document. But I mean, we haven't even got to the zones, and they're introducing some new zones. So I believe I may have to come back with sometime between now and.
Well, let's make it happen. I mean, because if you're willing, and I don't say this.
You are very accommodating, you know.
Boy, I almost want to make a joke and say, but no, let me leave that alone. But you're most welcome, sir. You're most welcome, sir. But this is important because this isn't about you or a small group of people in one particular part of the country. This is going to help to inform others. People might have heard about this, but didn't understand, the timeline or the importance of it. If they're looking for that document that you were referring to now, can they get that? Where would they get it from?
This one?
For people can see, reflect.
No,
that's good. Yeah. For this,
this actually my speaking notes for today.
Man, I was hoping you can't get that document. Sorry, Miss Susan. We people going, boy, I only got an inside joke. No. It's very public. You just need to pay attention.
Yeah.
No, but thank you. But no, the planning statement. Let me be semi-serious. Mm-hmm. If they wanted to read for themselves the planning statement, they want to know what's going on at planning.gov.ky. It's there. They can find it. The invitation is for the wider community to come out. If the location is accessible to people, it's public. It's not like the NCC where you cannot come in. You're part of it. You can be, present. Yes, that was a dig. Because this is about public accountability and participation. If this is improper,
and collecting feedback,
right? You guide me because I want to commend Honorable J. Ebanks, the Honorable Planning Minister, seemingly willing to figure what's going on, get it done. That one single act of getting those little sticks that were a serious impediment to road users, getting them removed. I commend him and his NRA team for tending to that. As a consequence, I don't think things happen in a vacuum or by coincidence. Just the other day, I'm driving up ahead of me. A vehicle swerved. Luckily, those little sticks were gone because it could have been serious. The oncoming driver was a bit inconsiderate, irresponsible, inattentive. Luckily, the two cars ahead of me, the person was obviously very, very much paying attention and could. Now, if those things were there, the person would probably have not been willing to pull to the side. Perhaps if they did, may have damaged the car. I don't know. But by them being gone, the person was able to pull quickly, safely, and almost instinctively. Psychologically, maybe they would have not done that if those visual, physical impediments were there. And that would have happened a few days after they were gone. And I thought, wow. So if Mr. Ebanks as planning minister doesn't mind me almost giving them a compliment and thinking, boy, what he want to know. But this is where that proactiveness comes in and the government doing something that responds to the public's outcry. But the public has said, hey, come on, man, these things got to be in the wrong place. If they don't speak out, how can the government act?
Right.
Like you and your team with what you're doing now, come in and maybe learn, be informed. They might not agree with any of this stuff. They might say, let's bulldoze everything and build 50 stories.
Yeah.
I mean, hope not, but that might be what people want. All right.
But unless you communicate it to those that can actually take action on it.
Right.
Talking about it amongst yourselves ain't going to really solve the problem.
Right.
And again, I would like to also publicly commend the minister for taking this now, especially at this time of the political arena. Because the first attempt at a development plan back in 1975 and 1976, I think it was all but one of the members of government were wiped out.
Yeah.
And ever since that, almost every administration has been very reluctant
right.
To propose any amendment. So I applaud the minister for taking it, and especially at this time.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, being you, from your expertise and the like, but I'm hoping that we who live here would now see the seriousness of this and come and participate and let their voices individually and collectively be heard to weigh in on this thing. We can complain about everything, but that's probably the easier part. What are we doing to at least try to, help?
Yeah, and I mean, there are only two types of people in the world. Yeah. You're either part of the problem or part of the solution.
Boy, on a different day with more time, I would make a joke, But I got not today, but
let's go fishing tomorrow.
Can I bring a friend?
Yeah.
Let's go fishing tomorrow.
Let's go fishing.
All right. Listen, I only accept invitation from good people that I know who understand how the North Sound and the waters work. And if he's the son of Solly, he always knows what's going on. So let's do that. Mm-hmm. All right. I'll see if my son want to come. He can bring one of his cousins.
Yeah.
I might even bring one of my brothers.
Wait. Because
I just tease you.
Between you and me, if we all bring some of our siblings, I need a much bigger boat. Which boat are we going in?
I borrow a normal boat. No, but publicly thank you for inviting me. I'll accept it. I won't do as I would in the past where my brother said, let's go fishing, you buy gas. Those days were cheap. This time I'll get ice. No, I'll kid. But thank you very much for coming on and always sharing with us. And looking forward, before we leave, I'll find another possible date to have you back on the show to talk about it. So this coming Monday, all in Sunday, like as much as this hall can safely accommodate, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the West Bay Chapel Church of God, Pastor Stan's Church on, is that Town Hall Road?
Town Hall Road.
Old Bush area, across from what we used to be the Town Hall, and now is the library, Teacher Regular Power Library. Okay.
I would just ask anyone who's planning on attending, try to read the document as much as you can, because then that allows you to be able to ask questions, make comments, more or less based on what is being proposed.
Okay, and the document referring to is the planning statement, planning.gov.ky, I think is where it is at. You're not hard to find it, it's right there.
Yeah.
Honestly, thank you so much, sir, for sharing with us. All right.
Thanks for inviting me.
All right. And to our listeners, I will do my very best to be the very best that I can do. But end of the day, if we don't laugh and love and learn to live together with an attempt to be better, then we may as well just, be Obama. But that's a different day. All right. Monday is another day. Please join Mr. Art and come back for Talk to the after the midday news and the midday meditation. See you all on Monday. God's willing.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
Radio Cayman.
The voice.
The heart. The soul of the Cayman